Hi guys, let me show you today how can we get and work with XML response instead of JSON response. Let's look at getBooking endpoint. Instead of getting JSON back, we can select to get XML response back by changing default value of application JSON to application XML in our header. And if we scroll down, we can actually see how our response will look if we decide to use XML instead of JSON. Let's try it. Let's open getBooking tests class and create a copy of our test. So I will copy all of this and paste it here and rename our test method to getBooking XML test. And save. Also, let's comment out our first test, so when we run our XML test, only one test gets executed, only this one. So we can achieve it by just commenting out our add test annotation, or there is another way. We can add enabled equals false. And this will disable this test-ng test. So however you like it, just comment out or enabled false. To get XML instead of JSON, all we need to do is to add a header to our request, and we already know how to do so. So here, not here, but here before our actual request, let's create header and let's call it XML equals new header, and let's import it from IO rest assured. New should be lowercase. Okay, so new header and name and the value. So if we go back here to our documentation, the name should be accept uppercase and the value application XML. So name accept and the value application XML. And next step, spec.header and our XML header. So do not forget to add our header to the spec so it gets used when we request our endpoint, request our response. Now let's run our test and see what happens. Right click, run as, test-ng. Okay, we didn't save, so yes, save. Okay, save. And the test will fail. Okay, test did not fail, and we received not the XML but also the same old JSON. And now I see the problem. I made a mistake in the header name, so it should be accept. You see, simple typo broke my test. So don't be like me, be careful and double check what you type. So now let's save and let's run this test again. So this time test should fail, but it should return XML but fail. So if we go to our console, we see that test returned XML. So first one JSON is for the create booking request, but then it returned XML as we wanted, but test failed. So let's see why test failed. So rest assured path JSON exception. So JSON path exception. And I mean, most of you probably know why it happened. Our response is no longer JSON, so we cannot use JSON path to read our response. So let's fix it. Let's read the response, and instead of JSON path, all we need to do is to use XML path. So response dot XML path dot, and same get string and then path to our XML. And if we go to console, so as you see, first element is booking, and then we have first name inside of booking. So here, here and basically everywhere in JSON, each of those fields were the root field in our response. But with XML we have this booking element that contains all other tags. So similar to XPath, our JSON XML path will be like so: booking dot first name, and we can remove this all part that is no longer used, and same for all other. So we change XML, we change JSON path to XML path, and let's do it everywhere. And before each field name we add booking and this dot. So booking dot last name, booking dot total price, booking dot deposit paid, booking dot booking dates dot check-in, as you see here, booking, then booking dates, then check-in. Same for checkout and additional needs. So now when we save, now our test should work and each field should have correct value. Yep, as you see, test passed. So this is how we work with XML responses. So in case if you want to use REST assured for SOAP API automation, for SOAP API test automation, you will use XML path instead of JSON path, but the rest is gonna be basically the same. Few more parameters will have to be added to request specification, and you will know it's all gonna depend on your SOAP SOAP API, but the rest gonna be the same except XML path instead of JSON path.